gear. Welcome back to the channel, everyone, and in this video we're going to be going over everything that I have done to my 2013 Scion FRS. Now this is not your normal typical Scion FRS. Almost everything on this car has been touched and it's making over 400 wheel horsepower. We're going to go over the complete build breakdown so you guys can go ahead and either mimic the build or prepare yours to make some power and have some fun. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you guys drop a like on the vid, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. If you have any questions, make sure you guys go ahead and ask them down in the comment section below. Let's get right into it. All right, so before anybody asks, no, this is actually not the stock engine that came in the car factory. This is actually a staged IAG Shortblock. This is pretty much a basic rods, pistons build. The heads are stock, they have slight work, valve angle job, and they are machined to accept 1/2-inch ARP Headstuds, so we can run a significant amount of boost. This car is making around 17 pounds of boost through a Greddy T518Z turbo. Relatively small turbo, spools up really fast, makes all the fun noises, and overall just pretty nice street car. I do plan on upgrading the turbo to a Garrett 30 series turbo just to go ahead and have a little bit more power and more top end, but I'll get into that later on. But so far that's going to be the setup as far as the basics you would need to go ahead and support 400-ish wheel horsepower. And oh, I almost forgot, as far as fueling goes, I do have DW 700cc injectors and a DW 300 fuel pump. I do plan on upgrading that to ID 1050X and a Walbro 485 when I do upgrade the turbo, because I know I'm gonna need a lot more fuel. Now personally, against everybody's belief, I do not think you need a built motor to hold 400 wheel horsepower on this platform. When this car was 100% stock motor-wise, I was making upper 300 wheel horsepower. Now, the rods, the pistons, they are all intact. That whole short block that was in the car from factory is still intact in another car running right now. I simply just lifted a head gasket, and because the motor had to come out, I knew there was probably a better option to go ahead and replace it with a built bottom end from IAG. So I was ready to go to support some more horsepower, because that's the type of person I am. I always want more, so I wanted to go ahead and essentially bulletproof this setup so I was good to go down the line. But if you were to run E85 and try to push 400 wheel on the stock engine, I do believe it would last. I really do believe that. Now for some more supporting mods here, I have pretty much a GrimmSpeed boost controller here. It does say 6-Star Motorsports on it, but that's actually the same exact module. It is a GrimmSpeed boost controller. This car is on flex fuel and runs E85. I do have a P-tuning flex fuel kit right here. So these two are obviously going to be necessary if you want to run E85, you know, on this platform. I have a JDL oil cooler. You guys can kind of see the sandwich plate down there, and the oil cooler is going to be tucked away on the side. And I do have an upgraded JDL 700 horsepower rated intercooler for when I am going to be upgrading the turbo. So these are going to be pretty much all the supporting mods that I have done right now on the car. The one last item is going to be a Radium catch can. I have this on the passenger side because that's going to be where like the most important part of the catch can setup is going to be at. So that's kind of where the car is sitting right now as far as supporting mods motor wise. Now as far as the remainder of the drivetrain, it's actually stock. I have a stock transmission, stock drive shaft, stock axles. All that actually has not been touched. The only thing I have touched is the clutch, which is a South Bend Stage 3 clutch, which feels like stock and holds 400 foot-pounds of torque, more than I need right now. Now inside the car, this clutch is very easy to use, very you know, user-friendly street driving. Transmission is going to be stock, like I said. Personally, these transmissions, as cheap as they are, is kind of why I just left it stock. I don't really think that spending, you know, $7-8K to do the CD009 swap is really worth it for this platform, just because they're so cheap to replace. It's like you can use like 10 stock transes before you need to actually get a CD009, and honestly I'd rather just do that. I know that buy once cry once type thing, but mine's been holding out pretty good so far, and I think it's going to be probably good to go, you know, until I start to push like over 500 wheel horsepower. Then I might have to go ahead and figure out a solution, either get this built or swap it. But in all reality, I do not plan on actually going ahead and swapping out the transmission on this car to something different. I like the stock trans. I like the way it feels. It's very bolt action. It's light, if you know what I mean. Like, it's not hard to use. It's not annoying to put the car in gear. So that's kind of why I like it, and I do not intend on going ahead and changing this at all. Now, as suspension goes, this car is on some BC Racing Coilovers. The car is actually pretty low. It's actually a lot lower than I'd normally actually go ahead and set it up, but I got these used from a friend, and I just simply just left the settings the way they were. It sits pretty damn good, but it is low. It doesn't rub, believe it or not, but it does scrape on some things. So it is what it is. You guys can see here, we do got some scrape action going, but low carb problems. It is what it is. I have some work Kiwami wheels. These are going to be 18 by 9.5, and I am on Toyo Proxy's R888Rs here. I do plan on actually going ahead and getting some different tires, just because I feel like there's some better compounds out, and the road noise is pretty wicked on these. These are going to be 255, 35, 18, and I have that all the way around. I don't really have any traction issues with these tires at all. Second gear, obviously, but from a roll, hooks up pretty well. No issues. The stance is pretty sinister, I ain't gonna lie. It sits pretty damn good. And it rides actually pretty good too. A little quick walk around. You can see here that it pokes a little bit, but it's that good poke. I know some people like to rag on BC, but for a street driven car, I mean, I have no issue with them at all. I think a lot of those guys like to rag on BC are like the type of guys that, you know, are uptight about what type of suspension they run. I know you don't really want to cheap out on suspension, but these are probably like one of the best budget coilovers to go ahead and get. These that are on the car right now have like 20K miles on them, so they're not really brand new, but they're not, you know, ran hard and used hard. So I've had no issues. Now for some external modifications here, you guys can see that I do have the Trackspec hood vents. This is kind of like appearance slash performance. These actually do extract a lot of heat, even for a street driven car, so I do recommend them. Obviously I'm in a garage, so I don't have to let it sit outside, but the engine bay is kind of dirty from the hood vents. Sometimes get caught in the rain. Not a big deal, but these do work out pretty well. These actually extract more heat than the Veris hood vents, so if you're looking for maximum heat extraction, these are the way to go. I know people swear by Veris, but I mean, these are actually proven to be better. So I recommend you guys going ahead and getting the Trackspec. Just pretty much a shark fin antenna, roof spoiler, HIC. They make a carbon fiber version of this now, which is pretty cool, but I like to kind of have it paint matched black. It does have a VIS carbon fiber trunk here. This actually is probably my favorite modification as far as exterior mods goes for this. I think it just looks damn good. Fitment is amazing. Again, pretty affordable piece. Doesn't break the bank, and I actually got it pretty quick too. It was not no year-long wait for some overseas parts, so that's a huge W in my opinion. And oh, I almost forgot the exhaust. I know a lot of you guys are probably wondering, well, what the hell does this thing sound like with the exhaust setup? Well, let me go ahead and show you guys right now, because it is a pretty unique exhaust setup. I've only seen one other car that has a setup like this, and I think they sound pretty damn good. Now for exhaust, this is going to be a 3-inch turbo back, literally 3-inch pipe all the way back. I'm not even kidding, guys. It's a 3-inch pipe all the way back, and it's going to be a center exit exhaust in the shape of the 4th brake light. Literally, you guys can see on the car, it is the definition of a straight pipe. It's literally a straight pipe from the turbo back with a tip the shape of the fourth brake light. P&L Motorsports in Lisle, Illinois actually went ahead and set that up. When I lived in Illinois, I had them pretty much set that exhaust up, and it was worth it. It's it's loud. You can hear the car coming from like a mile away, but it's like a unique tone. It doesn't sound like a Subaru under watt. It sounds like a Formula One car, and that's kind of why I like it. So the unique setup I got. As you guys hear the fuel pump fire up, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the remainder of the interior. I do have a Sparco steering wheel with the Sparco quick release. You guys can see Sparco. I have the AEM gauges boost. This is gonna be oil pressure. A P3 vent gauge here. This is gonna be either AFR or it's gonna be on oil temperature. And I do pretty much have the OEM Plus interior like blackout with the shift knob, the kind of control panel right here, and I do have a racing reverse lockout. And I do actually have the STI short throw shifter here. The throws are significantly shorter, but I'm not gonna lie, you can save some money using the Torque Solutions short throw shifter because they all rattle. Supposedly the STI one's not supposed to rattle. It all does rattle. This car has like little to no sound deadening, so the rattling is something you're just gonna have to get used to. And well, for 350 bucks compared to like the 150, I would just go ahead and get you the Torque Solution because it's gonna do the same job and you can save yourself some money. But that's pretty much gonna be the setup so far, man. That's gonna be pretty much my entire setup so far. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys think. This setup's pretty much complete. Everything has been touched that needs to be touched, minus the transmission, but you guys kind of have my 2 cents on that already. Again, do plan on upgrading the turbo, but for right now, I'm just enjoying the car and just driving it. Something that I really haven't been able to do for like the past 2 years. So if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you guys drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, turn those post notifications. It's been your boy Ears, and again, if you have any questions, let me know down in the comment section. Catch you guys in the next one. Deuces.